So here on the channel last week, I put out the first video on building the miter saw station. You guys are going to be seeing that very, very shortly with it completely done and all that. In the first video, I actually put up an ad on some cutting boards that I had made and that are actually available to all of you guys on my website that you can go and buy. I ended up filming the whole process of building those cutting boards. That is going to be what this video is for this week. So if you'd like to see how some end grain cutting boards are made, stay tuned, check out the video, and let's get into it. So right here is the majority of the scrap I'm going to be choosing to make all these cutting boards out of. Now, there were a bunch more pieces that were like 2 or 3 inches in width, but I'm not going to use those for this round. I just kind of feel like I could probably use them on a separate project. So what I'm first going to do here is actually cut it all down to a uniform size. That way we can then go and mill them all down. So gonna head over to the miter saw, got a whole lot of cuts to do, and we'll start breaking this stuff down. Now we're gonna go ahead and actually go to the table saw and get our last edge nice cut and square. And what I'm gonna do is actually change the fence to each piece. That way I get the maximum yield out of each one. And you can see that they're all different lengths and sizes. So like for this one, I'm probably gonna cut it right about there. So maybe 2.5 inches. Opposed to this one right here, which will probably be about 3/4. So I'm gonna take all these over to the table saw and cut them down. So if you could imagine these 6-inch pieces here glued up, oh, hang on here. So if this were glued up from that stack, it could then be ran on the jointer to get it flat after it's glued, flipped over, and then run over on the planer, glue that up on another piece, which will get us about 12 inches in width. We could then cut them all on the end grain to make up the end grain cutting boards. here to turning all of these boards into end grain cutting boards is by actually cutting them down again into 1-inch strips just like this. And what you then do is turn these all up on end. And you could do all sorts of fancy patterns like this, but because I want them completely random, after I cut down about 4 or 5 of these, I then stack them up in a pile just like this, and then take one from each one, and then stagger it in a way where it's the most random. That way there's no pattern or anything. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video of building these cutting boards. Do yourself a favor, go down in the description and grab one. I have a very limited amount of them available, and I will see you guys in the next video.